Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Steve Comic Express. The cold 18 degree start of the morning, Friday, a week, just so you know. So thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for a great 2025. Was amazing for me and for the country. We didn't get Democrats to win an election. God forbid should Kamala Harris have won. Our country is doing a whole lot better now, folks, and like the mess that they've created, it's going to take time to fix, and we've already done a great time doing it. Before we move forward with the conversation at hand, folks, make sure you download Upside. Use my promo code 6MMJUU. You get a bonus when you pump gas. You always get paid when you get pumping gas and going out to eat to-go food and shopping. And then when you see the money accumulate in the app and you want to move it on over to your debit account, PayPal, gift card, Amazon, and the like, you can do so. Just take the time to do it, folks, and you never get charged a fee for doing so using Upside. It's an app that pays you to download it. Well, folks, I've already started my migration over to YouTube. You can find me there either with Steven DiNuccio or Steve Comic. Either way, go over to YouTube and please subscribe. I have started my migration there because they're not limited with their earnings. And even though a liberal platform, ladies and gentlemen, at least I'm going to be able to expand my audience even larger than I do here on Facebook. So thank you very much. I hope you will follow me there. And follow me on Truth Social at Steve Comic.
Red light camera ahead.
On X, I am Steve Jazz. And just kind of follow me all over the place, folks. Even on Instagram, you can find me. So I try to make sure I'm on many platforms to reach many people, many eyes, many ears. Because we have a message to get going, folks. This is a year that we have to get across that our message is far better than communism, socialism, and you do have a choice between communism, socialism, capitalism. With Donald Trump, we've already seen now interest rates starting to come down. We've seen our economy, our GDP has gone in a much better place. The economy is doing better. Where we are seeing, now we are in a new year, we have no tax on tips. Gas prices have come down. Oh, it has. Big difference, because right there at the pump, ladies and gentlemen, it determines whether you go to a restaurant, whether you have that extra money in your pocket to spend anywhere. So we're going to see more in our pay this year. And the tariffs have helped us tremendously. Our argument will be in the upcoming days is healthcare. The Democrat, ladies and gentlemen, who have killed our economy also has killed our healthcare. And to think that we need to do subsidies in order to keep it cheap for Americans, why? Why do we need to do subsidies? Why? Because Obamacare was the socialist healthcare system that the Democrats brought us, and that needs subsidies in order to survive and to make it better for Americans. But in those subsidies, ladies and gentlemen, is money that goes directly toward illegal aliens that are destroying not only our healthcare, but our Medicare and all the other systems that we rely on for when we grow older and we need those services. Not many Americans could afford $25,000 a year for health care, folks. But the Democrat Party has brought you that. The Democrat Party has destroyed our economy, has risen our energy rates, our gas prices, has opened our borders, had put Americans in harm's way in boys and girls sports and boys and girls rooms, and more attacks on our on our American way of life and killing Americans in the streets and abortions and the like. I'm sorry, folks. The Democrat Party brought us that. Look what's going on in Minnesota. That is a travesty, ladies and gentlemen. A travesty. At its highest, it's a travesty. What's going on in Minnesota? They have turned their state into ground zero of fraud. People will be going to jail on this one. There would be no doubt about it. And they're out there blaming Donald Trump. Donald Trump wasn't even president when this all began. But when Tampon Tim came into the game and became governor, he went after people vehemently that exposed the fraud in the state. Layering centers. You mean nobody caught that? I think if any parent had put their kid really in that building, some parents certainly would have said, Layering Center? And then they had the liberal media of Minnesota show up and said, see, we have 4 kids here. Look, we got 4 kids. Really? Let's see the books. 4 kids? How does 4 kids justify millions of dollars going in that facility? How does 4 kids justify that? 4 kids? Show us your curriculum. Show us what you're doing. It's nothing there, folks. It's factory. They're buildings found near railroad tracks, for God's sakes. They're not learning centers. They're money laundering centers, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by, again, the Democrat Party. We've got to get our act together, ladies and gentlemen, because soon, we'll be in the midterms. And our country is either going to be full-on destroyed with liberalism, socialism, impeachments, and all this stuff that gets absolutely nothing done, or we move forward and continue to improve our country. Americans are going to start seeing more in their pay, more in their tax returns this year. No tax on tips, ladies and gentlemen. No tax on overtime. That's right. And seniors will see more money in their returns with Social Security. And we got to get illegal aliens off Social Security, folks. Those are the facts. Those things need to happen, my dear friends. They need to happen, and they need to happen in a very big way. But we shall see, my friends. We shall see. We shall see. Socialism has reared its ugly head. And Mandani in New York got sworn in on the Quran. That's right. And has vowed to be a socialist mayor. He said he was voted in on that, and he will do that. New York, I want to be the first one in Rhode Island to say, as I've been saying, I wish you nothing but the worst for your votes. I wish you nothing. I want you to be the ground zero for the rest of the country to see what Democrats do to a city and a state. That's right. With New Jersey people moving out, New York people moving out, California people moving out. Those are right. Those are the big 3. The big 3 where people are leaving because of socialism. People are leaving. That's right, folks. And in California, well, I know the governor's got some big problems there because a 5% tax goes on very rich billionaires and whatnot. You know, people who give jobs to us, who make jobs available to us so we can go out there, spend money, pay bills, buy homes, put our kids through school and the like. And we're going to punish the very people who employ us, right? Go figure. This is a capitalist country. And you could make $1 billion too if you just open your eyes. Maybe you could be an influencer like me and do some good, right? Maybe you could be an influencer like me and make money. I'm not getting rich at this, but I'm doing pretty good. And why don't you try it, folks? You have a lot of ways to earn money in America. Holy mackerel, that guy almost hit me. You have a lot of ways to earn money in America, folks. Let's hope you take advantage of doing so. America needs patriotism. America needs people. America needs people who are willing to defend this country and its freedoms, its religion, its right to speak, its First Amendment, its Second Amendment, its right to liberty, life, and happiness. That's right. The right to pledge its flag, the right to be proud of its country, the right to defend her. The Democrat Party shows no ambition for any of that. And when Democrats don't get their way, they really like to break things, don't they? Now George Clooney moved to Paris, France. Good luck, good riddance. Doesn't like America. Well, great, you're gonna fix America from Paris, right? The country who waves the white flag really well. I really get a kick out of these elite liberals that have the means to move and do anything they want while they make us suffer. While they live in mansions. They live in mansions and drive around with these very, very expensive cars. And they want to dictate to us how to live our lives, how to leave the country and say, the hell with you. You suffer, I can make choices to leave. Why, did we leave when Joe Biden was destroying the country, when Obama was turning this country into a race bait? Did we leave? We stood here, we fought. We created the Tea Party. We created MAGA. We didn't burn anything down. We didn't shoot people. We still pledged our flag. We still were proud Americans, still went to church, still agreed to disagree, while the left turned their disagreement into violence, hate, murder, and then leave the country. Well, if you're going to leave the country, let's not hear your mouth chatter. Leave the country. In other words, when you're in exile in another country, Rosie O'Donnell, Clooney, and the like, please do not get on social media and complain about America. We don't want to hear you anymore. You're done. You're in exile. Stay that way. Shut the F up. We're not interested. Good morning, Kathy Mellon. We're not interested. Shut the F up. You want to leave the country? Your choice. Go do it. You have the means to do it. Why you dictate to us that we need to live under socialism and communism while you live the elitist life. Happy New Year, Kathy. Well, guess what, folks? No. Absolutely not. And there is Zoran Mandani and all his stupid followers who went to his inauguration. And oh, by the way, 4,000 showed up. As Bernie Sanders and AOC were there to help bring him in. The only thing they've ever done is brought in an acolyte into their friggin' communist regime. And not one single bathroom was available. Not one porta-john, not one toilet, not one thing but 4,000 people who showed up for inauguration. I guess there were more people wearing Depends at that event as well. Like New Year's in New York. Who watches it? Look, I performed on New Year's Eve. And then I get to watch New Year's celebrations later. I didn't watch the ball drop. I watched Disney's New Year. You know, there's some influencers like Resort TV One. I watch them. They're influencers who walk around Disney all day. You ought to check them out on YouTube. Resort TV One. Check them out. Josh and Jenna. They're out there videoing every day. They walk around, go to the attractions and whatnot. And I got to watch beautiful New Year celebration both at Epcot and the Tragic Kingdom. I got to watch them both. It was a lot of fun. You know, I'm not participating in anything New York. I'm going to be honest with you. Anything New York, I have no desire for any type of participation with them. I don't want to visit that place. I don't want to perform at that place. I want nothing, absolutely nothing to do with New York. You're going to live and die by your own stupidity, and I'll have nothing to do with it. Right, Ruth and Randy? Nothing to do with it. You're going to live and die by your own stupidity. And like I said, I didn't even, usually you can watch that after the fact. I was performing. I had a great time performing New Year's Eve. And quite frankly, have no interest in watching New York City with 1 million people that are put into little corral boxes who can't use the bathroom. And if they leave the corral box, they're not allowed to come in. So how do you go there, spend all that time in what felt like 16-degree temperature with a wind chill, and then you don't even get to use a bathroom? You're freezing your tush off. That's celebrating New Year's? That 1 million people went there and do this? What? Was there the coming of Jesus Christ that day? Did I miss something? What was the attraction to go and poop and pee in your own britches and then kiss your loved one as you defecated all over yourself? You gotta be kidding me. That's New Year's? I'm not interested. Not interested. That's not it. But anyway, folks, it has been an absolute superior year for me. I hope the best year for you. I'm going to make this year even better for me. I can't wait. There are going to be a lot of changes this year, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to kind of like sharing with you the next step of my life. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. A lot of fun. And thank you again for supporting everything I do, participating in all my endeavors. That means a lot to me. And my hope is that we get to do it again and again and again. Stay healthy. That's all we have is our health, right? Stay well. And remember, we're voting Republican this year. Otherwise, we lost the country. Have a nice day, folks.